Welcome to the Language Podcast. I'm your host, Jada Marie, and we got some things to talk about. Today, I have with me Jordan Franks. He is the owner of Taste of Jack's, and I want to pass it over to you, Jordan, so you could just tell everybody what your product is and what your business is all about.
All right, Jada, thanks for having me. Yes, my name is Jordan Franks. I am the owner, founder, marketing person, executive finance guy, whatever. Uh, the Taste of Jackson in St. Louis, Missouri. My main product, started out with salsa, sold a fresh salsa, and the product really took off. So that just sparked the ideas to go all into food manufacturing overall. Started creating other products and made a retail run, which is exactly why we're here to talk about today.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about it.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the salsa. You said that you're in St. Louis. The fact that your product that you started with is salsa, and I didn't know that
Mm-hmm.
you had other products that you're interested in. If you do, feel free to maybe talk about some of those new products that you're thinking about. But before you get into the new products, just tell us a little bit more about your salsa because you offer different types of salsa, and I want you to share with them your different flavors that you have.
I feel like Jada knows this. Maybe.
I do, I do, I do, I do, I do. We're not gonna quiz me on the
I was about to
spot,
say,
but no, no.
we
We
should
have
quiz you.
we have sassy.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Mm. I think I might remember that one because that was my favorite one.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
I remember the colors. There was a green one that was really spicy.
yeah, yeah.
What's its name?
That one is spice. So it's a tomatillo
Spice.
based salsa, and it has red peppers. It has green. Goodness gracious, it has white onion,
Hmm.
cilantro flavor to it, jalapeno peppers in it as well as serrano peppers. Yeah,
See, I had it
that
right. I
was
said it
good.
was spicy.
Yeah,
Tell them about
close.
sassy.
So that's one. That's two. So sassy. That's one of the pico styles. So it's more of an original blend sauce. So it's definitely a fan favorite. Obviously, you said that that's your favorite. Um, Some
The
people
other
might do
one,
kind of like a cantina style, maybe a traditional restaurant style salsa. Then there's unicorn, that one's super popular.
unicorn.
So unicorn is a mango habanero salsa
Yeah.
with corn. So it's got a lot of heat to it, but it's got a good sweet heat combination. You'd be surprised at people who don't like heat but just love the flavor of unicorn. Can't like it. Magic is a mango salsa as well, but it's a little bit more tempered down in the heat. So it's mango, red peppers, and red onion. And that was really,
Okay.
really popular as well. So yeah, those are our four products that we started out with. Again, they just became widely popular just because of their freshness, their names. It was a fun, sort of quirky thing that people got really intrigued in. I mean, it was always exciting or kind of fascinating, like a little case study to watch adults walk up to you and say, "Can I have some unicorn salsa?" So they always kind of made me laugh a bit. But again, it was a fun way to really engage people and get into the retail fresh food thing. So yeah, it's exciting. It's been exciting, but after all the fun comes all the headaches, by the way. So that's
Gets
the
real.
that's when it gets real. Exactly. Um,
So go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
So just to get it, so talking about, first of all, I think that it's cool that you chose those names because we remember things that are creative. You won't remember the basic stuff. And you might
Yeah.
want to be a little careful because I live in Arizona now and
Oh
they'll be
yeah.
hitting you up asking you to ship some salsa.
They
Get your
can.
salsa in a, yeah, I'm like, if you get your salsa in a restaurant here,
Man,
So you
that's
said
a
that
big money though.
it would be. You can always come and visit, make some business trips, make something happen. So you are in the fresh food business, which is really important. Things that people are really interested in, especially nowadays, are just fresh foods, come from simple ingredients. So I think a big call out is that whenever you were describing your sauces, you were able to say the ingredients that were in there. It's fresh, it's simple. So let's get into your journey to retail. When did you decide to go into retail, or was that always the plan for these products to go to the shelves?
You know, uh, when I first started out, I'm really going to enjoy this conversation because this gives me a chance to kind of go back down memory lane.
Yes, good.
But when I first started out, I used to, and I probably told you this story. I mean, you and I used to go on a few lunch, meetings and things like that. But
Yes.
when I first started out, I would go. First off, it just salsa just came to mind because my partner uh, created one of the initial products, Fancy, and the story was always I'm not a big tomato person, and I'm truly not. I don't like tomatoes. I don't like fresh tomatoes. I like aroma tomato every now and then, but like fresh tomatoes, they're just kind of strange and
Does the size matter? Like you like them when they're diced up small or
it's not like I'm repulsed by it as if I'll just shove them to the side or throw them at somebody's head if I don't want to eat them.
yeah.
It's just a preference sometimes. So
yeah.
I think a really fresh tomato I can appreciate because
Mhm.
that has such a robust flavor to it. But
Yes.
just a tomato in general, I'm not a fan of. I do eat ketchup though, I must admit, and I do eat
Oh,
spaghetti. So
okay. Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm one of those separate spaghetti, pasta, and sauce people. So
No, you're
yeah,
not.
don't. Yes, I
Oh, you
am.
put the sauce on
Don't
that.
don't
Oh,
don't
okay.
don't
We'll leave it
don't mix.
alone. You.
Okay, we won't touch that. But
I
don't
have
mix my spaghetti
learned.
together. All right, do
I
not
have
mix my spaghetti.
learned. Everybody is so different, so I'm
Yeah,
not
for
going
real.
to judge you.
All right, cool.
That's
Thank you.
just
I appreciate
crazy.
that. So no
So,
judgment
and
zone. All right.
no judgment, but even tomatoes, I can't say I am me and tomatoes, we have a love-hate relationship. As I
Yeah.
get older, like you said, I don't have an issue with tomatoes. Just don't put them on my burger. I don't like soggy,
Oh
but
man.
when you get a really good tomato, fresh salsa, like when you just it tastes
Yeah.
better. You're like,
You can
"Okay."
appreciate it.
Yeah, like bruschetta?
Oh.
Oh. oh, see?
Now, listen, I'm not gonna lie, bruschetta is fire. And
see?
there is
See?
actually a bruschetta product that we tested at some point in time.
Oh,
So, hopefully that's something that's gonna be back in the works again. But a good bruschetta
hopefully.
and a good bread and that olive oil kind of combination,
Yes. Okay.
mm,
So what I
anyways.
hear is you like a good tomato, not the tomatoes that they just go and give
Yeah,
to the restaurants.
that's
It's
right. That's
it
right.
always start with a good tomato.
It
So
does.
you didn't like tomatoes.
That's
You
that's
had
how we
a
got. That's how the story started.
okay.
Once the salsa came about, and it was just one salsa at the time, but I was more on the creative side of one perfecting the recipe,
Definitely.
just seeing what was on the market already, and this is just really the initial journey into retail, seeing what
Mhm.
was out there on the market, seeing what people were asking for, seeing what was currently available on the shelves, especially in the fresh product section. So, if you go to the fresh product section for salsas, there may be only one or two or three particular brands out there. There may be 5 total brands across the nation,
Yeah.
but each individual store typically carries just a different brand. So if you go to
Mm.
Fresh Con, they may not carry the same fresh salsa brands as Deerbergs, and these are all stores here in St. Louis. If you go
Yeah.
to Schnucks, they may not carry the same, brands as Deerbergs. I mean, so you just kind of get different brands. So I went to different stores just to see what the product offerings were. Um, so I wouldn't say that the initial idea was to get into retail stores, but it certainly was in the back of my mind that it was a possibility.
Yeah.
I used a lot of sort of self gathering information to go
Mhm.
out and do research on pricing, see how much they cost. One
Yeah.
thing that was unique about our products is we had the highest product on the shelf in terms of price.
Yeah.
But it was also justifiable. People didn't mind paying $12 for a pan of salsa if if it was delicious. And
Yep.
I've noticed that about consumer spending and consumer behavior. People pay for what they want,
Yes, they
and
do.
that's something that we learned, very very early on. And it led to us one setting our product as a premium product. So that's
Mhm.
another thing. We came on the shelves as a true fresh premium salsa. And in my opinion, of course, and a lot of other people got the competition. People will go pick up
Definitely.
our product. Sauces on the shelves in retail stores are ranging from $3 to $6. Maybe they're a little bit more now because of inflation.
Yeah.
But at the time, somebody who didn't mind choosing my salsa at 10, $12 over something else that was $3. I mean, it
Yeah.
says a lot. So
Yes.
once, with that being said, grocery, it wasn't going to be step one. I knew, I had no idea how we would kind of create step one, but really when we started advertising, some of the opportunities came to us. So, small vendor type markets and farmers
Yeah.
markets. And we could really see the progression from the first place that we sold salsa to where it was in such high demand, but people could only get it once a week at the farmers markets. That's when my mind kind of went in a hyperdrive, and I'm like, how can I make my product available on a daily basis?
Yeah.
That's both a gift and a curse. I'll tell you that because
Yeah.
making it available on a daily basis means that you have to adapt to an entirely different business model. I
Correct.
mean, it's manageable, and I don't want to say easy, but there is a higher level of ease that comes with just selling products at a farmer's
Yeah.
market. That was our claim to fame. I enjoyed those markets. That was a good way for us to get that product out there, get
Hmm.
people excited. Me selling my product directly to the customer. I mean, you sold some sauce to the customer, so you
Yeah.
know what that interaction is.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of buzz and hype and excitement that comes with that very kind of organic development of a product.
Yeah.
But again, me being a lofty visionary, right, I'm just like, how can I get that product out? Like, I would have people calling me on Tuesday, hey, do you deliver? Or hey, can you? Again, you
Yeah.
yourself probably seen some of these messages. Can you get some salsa here? Can you? And I'm like, well, no, you gotta wait
Yeah.
till Saturday. Like, this is what it
Yeah.
is. But
Yeah. And
I felt like that we were limiting ourselves naturally.
hmm.
And felt like that we were limiting ourselves. I think it allowed me to see the vision,
Yeah.
but the execution kind of got a little muddy after seeing that vision because, like I said, once you go from just selling locally from 8 to 12 on a Saturday morning, and then you try to make a retail bid, I mean, there's a lot of things that come into that, a lot of logistics, a lot of, capital, so money becomes a
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
When these stores are asking for their products, they want their products.
Yeah.
Imagine going to a grocery store today and you wanted to buy, whatever your favorite snack is, and it's not there today, and it's not there tomorrow, and it's not there on Saturday.
They don't
Eventually
like
you're gonna
that.
get pissed off, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And stores, understandably, they don't want to deal with products that aren't going to be there consistently. So,
Correct.
while I'm still, engaging myself and pressing forward in my vision to be on those retail shelves, I found very, very early on some of the challenges that come with not sort of operating using like a scale growth model, right?
Yeah.
Like scale growth, not fast growth, because
We'll have
fast
you
growth. Listen, this
done.
is a lesson in life. Everybody wants to try to get there real fast. If you
Nope.
try to get there fast, trust me, you're gonna miss a couple steps. All right,
You will. You
and
will.
and it looks good, on the outside until it's no longer good on the inside.
Or until you don't have a business anymore and they're like, "Where'd you go?"
That's correct. That's correct. It's like, what happened? It's like,
Yeah.
well, things have to slow down a bit. So
Mhm.
I can even attest to this. Going from selling $3,000 a month to selling, then increasing from there up to maybe 3,000, 4,000, and then scaling way back down and not being able to have products available in any capacity because it's scaled too fast.
Yeah.
That's always a downside.
Yeah.
So that's the initial kind of part of retail. Yes, it was always in the back of my mind. I became very, very eager, and that's not a bad thing. Um, I was, definitely ready to get to the next level. I was
Yeah.
ready to have my products available because I felt that, man, if I can go into a farmer's market and sell 300 units, 400 jars of salsa in 4 hours,
Hmm.
imagine me being able to have this salsa available on 33 store shelves. Well, I
Correct.
tried that. And again,
Tried.
that's a whole different. Look,
So,
we're just getting to the beginning of the interview here, by the way. So it's a whole different ball game. Trust me.
so my question with you saying that you tried it, and I think you sharing that and being honest about it, that's something that people need to really hear
Yeah,
because you have things in the world, like you said, the farmers market, that's your version of your product went viral. They're looking for you at the farmers market
yeah,
every
yeah, for real.
Saturday. If they don't see you,
Seriously.
they like, where are you? You would, yeah, you could run out
Give
of
me my
product.
salsa.
Yeah, they going crazy over salsa.
Yeah,
So
for
you
real.
could be that you would probably run out if you don't get to the market, if you don't get there at a right at the right time early, we're not going to have any more product and there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. That's exactly
and
what
like
we
you,
would tell people, though. You know,
yeah, you get
if you
there
don't get
early
there,
when the
if you don't
doors
get there
open.
by 10:30 or 11, your favorite flavor might be gone. So,
It's going to be gone. You got to wait till next week. If
yeah,
you got to meet us at the other market because we're not going to
yeah,
be at
yeah,
this
for
one.
real,
So you might have to drive a
for
little
real,
bit.
for real. Imagine
So
driving from Charles Road to Lake St. Louis just for some salsa, right?
I mean, you better be there early. And guess what?
Yeah,
If they drive, more than likely they're gonna be the ones to sell you out because I'm going to buy a lot.
yeah, yeah.
So even with buying a lot, here's my well, the one thing that I was gonna say is people don't realize, like you said, they want to get there fast. But once your demand goes up, and these stores, like you said, they want the money, they want the product at all times. It's a lot in the back. So with people buying a lot or you being on a retail shelf, did that change your product in any way? Did you have to add things to it? Like what did your
Mm.
product look like once you were trying to get into retail and get on when you were getting into retail?
You know, that's a great question. Uh, because the product, the recipe has never changed. Let's just be very
Good.
clear about that.
Okay.
There aren't. I mean, and this is me being very candid. There's been some tossing around about adding a preservative to the product.
Yeah.
Preservative would be only the intention to increase shelf life.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 35 days on a jar of salsa right now, which is not bad.
That's not
That's
bad
a
at all.
that's a nice amount of time.
Yeah.
But at least for me, but people typically eat our jars up in a day or two.
Yeah.
So, nonetheless, that's why 35 days isn't bad. But when you're dealing with retail, when you're dealing with logistics and distribution, and you're dealing with scalability, that month or two increase of a shelf life, it's protecting your bottom line.
Yeah.
That's directly tied to your margin. So, at some point, if you kind of tie in those two things, changing the recipe with the logistics and the scaling of your company and a business, a lot of companies, make those tough decisions, how far they get away from the originality of that product without compromising the flavor or the taste. So yeah, I mean, I've toyed around with that again, but the
Hmm.
product to date currently has not changed. They're all preservative flavor. We
Perfect.
didn't skimp on any ingredients um, to meet the demand and make an extra jar of salsa with less ingredients. Like that's not what we
Yeah.
do.
Good.
What I
Good.
will say is the challenges that I faced growing into these stores was again scaling, and then scaling along with the scaling process is all your inputs have to be right.
Okay.
And by inputs I mean labor, uh, just the overall raw material, resources that you put towards the process. In
Okay.
this case, labor was probably one of the worst things that any company has to deal with sometimes, especially depending on the industry.
Hmm.
We all know that we went through a period where people really weren't that enthused about working, jobs and doing things like that. I mean, COVID kind of changed a lot of things.
Correct.
So a lot of small businesses were forced to navigate COVID the best that they could. So post COVID was probably harder than during COVID, if you want to be honest, because
Yeah.
everybody was kind of getting back out there and adjusting back to being in the world again, and
Hmm.
not sitting behind a computer all the time. So
Yeah.
I would say the product itself didn't change, um, but the way in which we prepared the product, unfortunately, it kind of took a toll because again, having a staff, place product in 30 plus stores or 20 plus stores, whatever you want to call it. It requires you to have that product available. And in order to
Yeah.
have that product available, you have to be able to create that.
Yeah.
So then what do? You either outsource it, right? You get
Hmm.
a co-packer, which is not as easy as people may think that it is, given the specialty nature of our product.
Yeah.
So what we did, I just hired people, and the more people that you hire, the more that you have to train on various processes to make sure that your salsa, the salsa that they're getting today or that they were getting a year ago, is the same salsa that they were getting when the company first started.
Yep.
And
That
that's where the
matters.
challenge, yeah, that's where the challenge comes in. That I've ran into some quality issues that me just trying to use those standard operating procedures and teach other people how to create the product as if I would have worked created it. When I'm not there is one of the greatest challenges to a new company.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, think about it. When you're like the CEO, right? The founder, CEO, wearing all the hats. I mean, you're literally the people who don't have the experience with entrepreneurship or even existing in corporate America. Like there is a structure to that.
Yeah.
And CEOs don't get in the weeds and involved with operations, right? That's not what
Correct.
they do. They are the face of the company. They may have to sign their signature 1,000 times a day. They ultimately lead the company.
Hmm.
And that's the job of any CEO. But as of course, with a newer startup, a company that you build on your own, it's no secret that you're not only CEO, but you are the operations executive.
Yep.
You're the CEO, the COO, the CFO, the general counsel, the cleanup crew. I mean
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Accounts receivable, accounts payable, like that's just what it is.
Hmm.
So I would say that push going into retail, um, once again, I have to reiterate that the product itself, nothing changed. The same product that you tasted 3 or 4 years ago, or whatever
It's
that
the
was, the same
same.
product that you would taste today.
Okay.
The challenges are the inputs of that product, what goes
Yeah.
into it. And I just, kind of gave a personal story just about the labor. That's one of the things. I mean, I ran into some really crappy guys. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah. It's
And that
real.
happens from time to time.
Yeah.
People get hired and fired every day on jobs, and you understand when you run your own company the importance of being and having a sound staff of people who care about the same vision that you do. So
And
that's
that's key.
that's a huge challenge. Yeah, for real, for real. Don't
Yeah.
make me cry
So
now because this is
don't
one of those
don't
things I
cry. No, no, no.
okay.
Don't cry. Don't cry. But
Well, I'm
people
just
people
kidding.
people need to hear that though. That's it's really big because that's your baby. Like you said, you did it all. You started, you were every part of that business, and now I have
Yeah,
to go and teach other people, and you have to be picky. You have to be crucial
yeah, you do.
because you're not just gonna put anything out there. That's my reputation to know that you
Yeah.
have a product that yes, you have gone through all of these things, but it still tastes the same. That's big. There's a lot of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
products and things out there. I mean, we're not going to talk about things that we ate as kids to where you taste it now and you
No,
like,
we can talk
what
about
is
we can talk about
this?
we can
What
talk
is
about
this stuff? Because
swear,
I'm like,
I've
ugh,
been eating things. I've been eating things, and just I don't know if it's just our taste buds naturally changing as we get older, like our
yeah,
preferences, I should say. But I've
yeah,
just been eating things that just don't taste how they tasted when I was a child. I'm like, and
no.
you know that they've done something to modify these products. I'm sorry.
Definitely, they are.
Yeah,
But like you said, they just make so much of it and they're just cutting corners. And
yeah, yeah, for
I
sure.
am somebody, like you said, I pay for what I want. It's always in my life quality over quantity. I don't need
Yeah,
crappy stuff for a low
yeah.
price. I will go and spend the 12, the 13, the 15. I will go and spend
Oh,
it
you
because
a
at the end of
whole
the
food
day,
shop or something? Is that what you're
not
saying?
Whole Foods, but I be in Sprouts and sometimes I be like, ugh, because they don't have a fresh time here. They have a
Oh,
Sprouts here.
okay,
So I think they're like
okay,
almost one and the same. And
okay,
Sprouts,
okay.
they always have some new stuff. And we're all trying to eat better. And I tell people all the time, you're going to spend money on better food.
Yeah,
Either
for
you're gonna
sure.
spend money on your doctor bills or you're gonna spend money on your foods.
Oh
But
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
even Yeah, like even what is it? I don't even see how people still like eat Yoplait, Oreos,
Yeah,
Twinkies, like that stuff just I don't know. Candy, I love
yeah,
Skittles, I love Airheads, but that stuff is I don't know. Like you said,
yeah.
as a kid, you want sugar though. Like you want the sugar really bad. And then as an adult, it's kind of like I don't need this.
Well, I think what it is, and I hope that we can go off topic in a sense, but I think
Yeah,
all of
of
this is
course.
relative to to the retail space and to the retail industry. And this will really be a segue into something else that I would talk about in this segment, just about retail in general. But I don't even think that we want the sugar. We just have been trained in our bodies, have been chemically trained to just kind of what do you call it? Like just have that addiction, have that taste, have
Yeah.
that need for it. That's a chemical issue. I mean, we all well, I'm not gonna say we all. I'll speak for myself, but I grew up in a family that wasn't you know, first off, being health conscious in the '90s wasn't even a big mass thing. That wasn't that
No.
wasn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. You had people out there who were on vegan diets in the '90s and
Yeah.
who were what do they call it? People who eat this plants, vegetarians. My goodness,
Yeah, yeah,
that shows
yeah.
what I eat.
Hey,
Um,
you like, I'm not, that ain't it. Give me my meat, please.
yeah, right. So I actually have a love hate relationship with meat for real. I really
Oh,
do.
whew.
Veganism, so it's a
That part, I'm
whole
like,
nother
I'm,
topic.
I'm like,
So
let me just
serious.
tell you, I bought some chicken the other day, and I was like,
Yeah,
I
your
don't,
chicken don't look like I don't know if I really
I'm
want
always
this.
looking at it like,
Yeah,
me.
like
I
examine it.
really, I really enjoy salmon. I eat
Yeah,
salmon.
seafood. Yeah.
The ground turkey is getting a little questionable. I just,
Yeah, it's all questionable to me.
yeah. But like you
It's-
said, back in the days, I mean, people, did you really have to focus on that though? Like, the quality was different. You guys, like, I don't know.
So
It was different.
honestly, this is to me. This is what okay. Let's see how can I really say this because
Say it how
you
you gotta
know
say it. Don't
I
sugarcoat
will
it.
I will
Just say
I
it.
hate sometimes I hate the fact that I do that I run the company.
Oh yeah.
Granted, I've been kind of grounded a bit because I've been looking for a partner,
Mm-hmm.
um, financially, but also just
Yeah.
somebody who can share in my vision with me,
Yeah.
um, to really take it to the next level, I've been looking for a manufacturer. So that way,
Okay.
when I do get back into that retail run, I'm ready to move. I'm
Yeah.
not responding, but it also just inspired me to I mean, I don't want to just, I'm not just a salsa producer. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be a food manufacturer.
Yeah.
And when you tell people that, I swear I get some of the most confusing looks, like, oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. And I'm like, no, it's really, yeah, it's interesting, don't get me wrong. But it's interesting because you got my big black face talking about being a food manufacturer. That's not common at all. I'm sorry. That's not
No.
something that you hear every day. you
No.
know. But the reality of it is that everything that we consume, if you drive up and down Lindbergh here in St. Louis, it's like 80,000 chicken restaurants. And those chicken restaurants, those chickens come from somebody who manufactured and processed those or the salad bar at Deerbergs or Schnucks or what was it called? Sprules or what you say?
Sprouts.
The
Sprouts.
Sprules. That's a
Oh no,
club that
you
used to be in
good.
St. Louis.
I'm like, what? Yeah, it's called Sprouts. And I actually learned that I didn't even know they did not have them more like Midwest than on the
Yeah,
East
it's probably
Coast.
like a
So
regional
yeah,
retailer or
yeah.
something like
They're
that.
trying to grow though. So don't be
Yeah,
shocked if you see one pop up. But
of
yeah,
course.
yeah. They
But
get their
but
stuff from somewhere.
people really have to understand that. And I think if I really tie all this together, this is where it gets really conversational. I think this is such a good topic of conversation right now because this is all of my thoughts being poured out on this computer during
Good.
this session. These are all the things that I had to really, really think about that I didn't think about when I was a kid. I didn't think about where my
Yeah.
food came from. I just
No.
know I thought my chicken came from the kitchen.
Yeah. Oh, that chicken. Let me tell you. I tell you, I'm on because I would say it sounds like you on a farm. You on a farm?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
No. Okay. You don't want a farm, but just being on
no, you said
TikTok
what
and
farm for a
Yeah,
wheat farm.
would you want
No,
a farm? Want a farm. No, 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 no,
she,
no, no.
she heard some chickens around me or something.
No, no, no. You said the chicken came from the kitchen.
Yeah,
Hey,
for real.
no.
She said,
No.
I thought you said it sounds like you're on a farm. I was
Oh,
like,
no, 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 no. It sounds like
look,
you want a
I
farm.
put my goats up already. Now I
No,
put a
no.
farm.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No.
Uh,
It just sounds
oh
like with
yeah,
the
yes.
manufacturing and
Well,
everything.
well, well, well. Not that I want to farm. I want to understand the farming industry. I want
Okay.
to understand the farming institution, you know, the just the whole system of it all. I mean,
Oof.
when I evolved my idea I mean, I'm telling you, I went from salsa to saying, well, I want to build my own, literally my own food company, and I want that to be all encompassing. And this really became a reality for me once I got into retail stores.
Okay.
Because once I got into retail stores, I was able to see, talking louder, is that just me?
No, you not loud. We good.
Okay,
If
cool,
it
cool,
is
cool,
loud,
cool.
it could get fixed. I talk loud all the time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, you
better to
already
be
know.
loud than to
Oh,
it's
yeah,
better
so
to
you
be
whispering?
loud than to be whispering. And they like, huh? No, you good. If you getting loud, that means your passion coming out. You being
That's
passionate
true.
about it. So
That's
that's
very true.
good.
I
We
love
like
this
loud. We
conversation.
good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like this. Anyway,
Yeah.
what was I saying? So
You were go ahead.
what I was getting at was, if we really get back to the topic, the main topic, and all these are just subtopics. Think of a tree, right? You got this whole the root of the conversation right now.
Mm-hmm.
Retail stores. But retail stores gave me this kind of revelation. What bitter and sweet, good and bad, gave me this
Yeah.
revelation on just the industry of food, like just food
Yeah.
in general. So retail showed me, you know, about the retail aspect, the actual selling of the food, the consumer portion of it. So when you go to Sprouts, you can go pick up your milk and eggs and butter, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
That milk, eggs, and butter, when you get that stuff, it doesn't come directly from the farm, right?
Correct. And
The
even
the
though they
the
try to say it does.
yeah,
No, it don't.
the stuff right before it gets to the stores is that it sits in a warehouse, right?
Correct.
It,
Mm-hmm.
it's, it sits in some kind of distribution pipeline that's created, that's perfected with logistics. And a part of the distribution pipeline before that, is the farming aspect of it, right? What does this stuff actually come from? Some of it's grown in the lab, let's be honest with ourselves. So
Lab grown. You're very right.
yeah,
How do you
all
compete? I mean, how do you compete with the labs versus the farms? And that's like you said, understanding the farm and understanding that industry. That's a big deal. We got to
it's
keep them in
huge.
business too.
Yo, it's huge.
So
But
yeah,
don't get it twisted, though. The farms. Some of the farms have become the labs. Like just because it
yeah.
grows in the dirt, don't think that it's growing organically and
We know that
growing or
soil.
growing without modification. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's a lot of big companies out there that obviously have made it their life's work to be able to provide food to 300 million people in our society every single day. I don't know the exact population of the United States, but if you think about it, we sell food to other countries, and that food has to
Yeah.
continuously be grown. So with that being said, yeah, I mean, I would love to understand the idea of farming. I would love to understand the idea of chemicals. I would love to understand all those things, the production process in general. That's just kind of one, sort of microcosm in what I'm trying to do, which is
Yeah.
really engage into the food space. And not just from the consumption of food, like that's one
Yeah.
aspect of it. If you really think about it. You
That's
you
really
said something
small.
very you said something interesting a couple minutes ago. And you're like, you either pay a premium for your food now or not now, but you either pay a premium for your food or you pay a premium for your health care, right?
Yeah.
Because let's be very clear, the food is it's highly correlated to our health, to our, some of the chronic illnesses that we face, especially for black people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and,
Definitely.
and we're all still guilty of consuming things. I know I need to lose a good 30, 40,
Same. Me
just,
too. Me,
You
that
know,
ice cream. Ugh,
mine is I eat sandwiches on a regular because it's quick, it's easy.
the
To eat
carbs.
with mac and
Oh my
cheese and cream
goodness.
cheese. And that's like those are
Yeah.
like two things I really enjoy.
And they tell us
And
to get
no,
rid of that. And that's
yeah,
hard. I don't want fake cheese. If I can't have I'm very if I can't have the real thing, I don't
yeah,
want it. I don't want the fake cheese. I don't want
yeah,
the fake meats because like you said, what people don't realize is you think that you're choosing a healthier lifestyle, but you're eating more processed things. It's just it it's not healthy for you. But I mean, sometimes I'm like, some gonna take us out, and I gotta look.
yeah,
I love food. So when you talk about the sandwiches, I just had me
yeah,
a great sandwich today, and then you
yeah,
get on the
yeah, yeah,
internet, and they're just like the deli meat and this and that, and it's all bad for you. But it's like think
yeah,
about what our grandparents and what our parents ate. Like, think about
yeah,
what they ate. And I
yeah,
mean, some of them, you got to look at them now and they might be struggling with some health things. But like you were bringing up, the things that are coming up, the chronic illnesses and things like that, it's almost like things that we feel that not aren't heard of, but they weren't very common. It's just these things. I could tell how we get into these loops of eating this unhealthy food. I'm on the internet all the time. I see all these
right.
restaurants and I'm always like, ooh, I want to go try this. So back to what you were saying, just about you have to pay for the quality food. Go ahead and finish your thought on that. Because we don't want to be in the doctors. Like you said, us
Well,
black people, brown people, we are affected, heavily
yeah, I mean,
affected.
you again, you just raised the point, about again paying for what you want, and once again, you either gonna pay for it this way or you're gonna pay for it the other way.
Correct.
And you can only get by so long with the unhealthy habits that God knows I have plenty of them.
Yeah, we all do.
But
We all
but
got vices.
yeah, but I will tell you what, I'm extremely self-aware and conscious of it at the
Yeah.
bare minimum. I'm conscious, and there's almost this guilt that's associated with some of the food that I
Yeah.
consume. Like when I eat it,
Yeah.
I actually feel bad. I mean, I really do think that I have like some type of eating disorder. I'm serious.
Yeah.
To
Maybe
where,
stress eating.
yeah, I mean, uh, maybe, but just in the context of I'm very conscious of what I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's always a thought to scan the ingredients or to do,
Yeah.
to look at these things. I still may very well eat it, but I just feel terrible as I'm consuming it. And
Yeah.
I know that one, as a kid, I was a pretty fat kid,
Okay.
still an overweight adult. Um, but I don't eat even a fraction of things that I would eat when I was a child.
Right.
I mean, I probably drink one too many beers and bourbons and stuff like that. But those
Hey, it
taste are
is what it
tricky.
is. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I don't even eat nearly like I used to eat a lot of zebra cakes, flaming hot Cheetos when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good combination for real.
Yeah. I'm like,
After
not see,
school,
it's not a
yeah, yeah,
combination. Yeah. But I
yeah.
mean, but I don't know if you see the kids.
Cheese fries and
They still eat it. They still eat that. The kids
yeah,
still
yeah.
eat that. I mean,
But I mean, go ahead, go ahead.
it's first of all, I don't know the whole thing with the red 40, but I personally feel like we
Oh
grew
man,
up on it. We ate
oh
it.
man,
I still eat
oh
my flaming
boy.
hot Cheetos about once a month
Okay,
because
cool.
I'm really,
I don't
really
feel bad
crave.
anymore then. I
I
don't feel
got a
bad
bag on
anymore.
my
You like,
nightstand right
hey,
now. Please
you
don't
should
feel
ran and go get the
bad.
bag real quick and be like, I'm sorry,
No, don't.
we
But yeah, I'm like,
we talking
look.
about fresh food right now, but I do got this bag of flaming hot Cheetos, all right?
But I do want to say I'm very much with you. I am very aware of what I eat. Like, I know when
Yeah.
I'm not eating something good. I try my hardest to do bad. And even when I talk about like dieting and things like that, I tell people I don't really believe in diets. I believe in
Yeah, me neither.
moderation. Like, although
Yeah.
it's hard for us and we know we don't need these things, you don't have to deprive yourself of those things because then those can turn into like eating disorders. Like you said,
Hmm.
scanning the ingredients. I see people all the time. They pick up a product, they're scanning it. I know it's a product that's bad, but guess what? They put it in their cart anyway. Because do we truly know what we're looking for in these ingredients?
No.
They say find ingredients that you could pronounce, but honestly, if you want it and you want to try it, you're going to try it.
Yeah.
So It is what it is. I don't never beat myself up over having too much stuff now. Like you said, you're aware of it. You can have the best week and have a cheat day. And sadly my cheat days turn into cheat weeks, and
Yeah.
then you just back spiraling and you
She
like, okay, I'm gonna
she
get back on it.
lost.
I'm gonna get back. Yeah. And then you like, all right, I'm gonna get back on it. But I think it is just a good thing to be aware of it. We know what we're doing. We know what we're putting in our bodies, and sadly nobody wants to wait until you go to the doctor and they're telling you like you have to do this, whatever,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, you can
But
no longer eat this thing anymore. You're like,
yeah,
oh, then it
yeah,
becomes a depression that you gotta get through.
yeah. But
Yeah,
even
it's a,
back to like the dairy that you said, me and dairy, we struggle because
yeah, it's
are
just
we
cheese.
supposed to be having dairy? But it's so good.
Man,
But then it makes you mucusy, and then you're like, I don't
yeah,
need this. But it's
yeah.
food. Like people was drinking whole milk back in the days because they said their bones were gonna like. People get their kids milk to get stronger bones. So everybody that's doing the alternatives and things like that, and really quick, because it's only so much I can say. But even
Oh,
sometimes looking at the alternative things, what are they putting in that? I
oh yeah, oh
when it comes to almond milk and oat milk, like that stuff lasts 2 months.
yeah,
What? Like,
yeah,
I'm scratching my head at that too. Now this little thing, this a little superfood smoothie. On the shelf, they're not cold, but I put them in the fridge, and supposedly it's strawberries and blueberries, and those are the things that I question. Like, how is it that this could be on the shelf? But it seems like it needs to be in a fridge. So when I'm in the stores, I'm always scratching my head at those kind of products. But again, like you said, it might be the preservatives and the things that they put in them. And then even if I look at the ingredients, how do I even know which one is the preservative? I don't.
yeah. You know, I mean, all you're doing is you're touching on the complexity, that I have come to understand with one, the food industry. I mean, crazy enough to go into the food world. Sometimes I sit back and like, man, what the hell were you thinking? And before I asked my well then partner, now ex, unfortunately, but even as a consequence to pursuing something that seemed almost unattainable, in large part, this does realistically look unattainable to a lot of people. Okay, because the complexity, as I was getting to, of the food industry is beyond even our scope of understanding.
Yep.
It's beyond, it'll take, obviously formal training, but a lifetime to really catch up to the things that are being introduced to us, that are available to us, whether it be products and processes. You know, we, yes, every day we consume food that have ingredients that we have never even heard of. And, the majority of people have never taken a advanced level chemistry course to even
That.
understand the ingredients
Yep.
that's involved with these products.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to knock that industry. I mean, yeah, are there downsides to genetically modified and chemically enhanced food? Absolutely.
Heck
You
yeah.
know, you mentioned the red dye number four, 40, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. The
That's
red
always
40.
something that I talk about to people, and it really goes over people's heads and conversation. But I'm like, you know, one of the side effects or proposed side effects to this, one, that this dye was banned in the United States. That's already banned in other countries, but
Yeah.
it was banned in
Correct.
the United States, 60, 70 years after being introduced in the United States.
Hmm.
So this red dye chemical was introduced in the 1960s, I believe. Like, I did some
Okay.
actual research.
Yeah.
So it has been placed in foods, that, and here we go with this is the economics part of it because that's my actual, undergraduate background.
Yep.
The foods that get used with those chemicals, there exist a disparity to where those foods are distributed, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
those foods are widely and largely accessible to people who
Yeah,
don't have a lot of money. Okay?
correct.
Now, through those chemicals and dyes and things find their way into other foods, that
Yeah,
maybe higher income people can afford, of course. Those products are accessible to everybody.
yeah,
But trust me, and you know this, going to a Dearborn's or a Sprouts is different than the local corner store in the hood. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Where,
definitely.
there aren't any carrots there or
No,
broccoli sprouts.
nope.
There is flaming hot Cheetos,
All different
Red
types.
Hots,
Yeah,
all the things that aren't really healthy. So, once again, that's a whole nother topic that one has sort of inspired me, but so it's a scary topic if you think about
yeah.
it. The scariness, the fearness, the angst that comes with that is like, man, there's some mad scientists out here really cooking up stuff that we are consuming on a day to day basis, yo.
And once you see
And
that and
yeah,
learn that, you
man,
cannot
you can't
unsee it.
unsee it.
You cannot unsee
You
it. Like
can't unsee it.
you
No,
just and you actually see it more and you're always
man.
just looking and you're driving and you're noticing the certain food places and you're like you said, you're in the stores and you can go in different neighborhoods. Even me personally, just the different stores that I go in for work, when you're closer to the city compared to when you're further away or in certain areas, it's heartbreaking to
Yeah.
see how drastic the stores, like just the difference between the stores, the parking lots, the shelves, just all the little things. And it's like, why? Like, why is it like this? And so even
Huh.
like you said, them just
That's
not
another segment, Jada.
I mean, I know why.
Yeah, okay,
Like I
okay,
said,
okay.
some
I
things
didn't want
I wish I
I
did
know.
not
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
but
yeah. I agree.
I hate
100%.
it. Like I
I hate it
truly
too.
hate it. And so here, let's talk. I have one question because I just want to know if you believe this theory is true.
Oh
So
boy. I'm
with
gonna
the
probably
red
say yes. Me and you
with
have
the
already
red
had all these
40
conversations, I think.
with the red 40, let's just flame hot Cheetos. Do you think that the hotter chips are like in the hood, in those areas, like they're more spicy, they have more, I say more like sauce on them or whatever? Is that a thing or is that something we just making up? Do you think that's a thing?
I mean, I think generally speaking, the answer to that question would be yes. And just to be again very general, if you get, you know, okay, recall St. Louis and comparatively analyze this with your current geographical location. Right?
Okay,
If
yeah.
you're saying that there is a similarity that, the closer you get to the urban setting, the crappier. Sorry, I'm not utilizing my education and my language ability here. But the worse off that those stores get, the worse offerings, And when you get out to more higher income suburban areas, then obviously the better availability of products, the quality of products improves, et cetera, et cetera. Um, the same goes for just the food. I mean, you can get imagine some of the foods that you can get down in the hood for real
Yeah.
that you can't get, out in the suburbs.
See, are you saying it's better? Like, does it
That's not
taste
what that's not
good?
what I
Oh,
said.
okay, okay. Because I
Well,
was,
what I'm saying, the flavor might be better, right? It
yeah,
might be a little, and I don't even want to say better, but it just
uh,
there's this added, you know,
yeah.
sodium level. There's this
Okay,
added, just everything, sauce effect. There's this added, just everything to
okay.
really flavor that product. But let's go all the way back to the beginning when you said that like kids, they need sugar or whatever. I can't quite recall what you said, but kids just want sugar,
Yeah,
and it's like it's not even a want at that point. It just becomes a chemical necessity, right? It's just an
yeah,
addiction. So your entire life, if you live in certain environments, you grow up and yeah, if you used to the hottest of the chips, around the corner, then your
yeah.
body's always going to desire that. You
Okay.
can't go, and I've lived in higher income areas, right?
Hmm.
You can't go around to the corner store and get a bag of hot chips. All right, you
Yeah.
can't go
No.
around the corner to the corner store and get a chicken plate with hot sauce
What
on it.
corner store?
Thank you. Okay, so
I'm like, I'm like, what corner store?
yeah, so
There's no
yeah,
corner store.
so
The
there you go, right?
Walgreens, CVS,
Yeah,
yeah,
and they close
nah,
at 12 o'clock nowadays or
definitely,
11 o'clock.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
But
I
that
mean,
makes sense.
yeah,
That makes a lot of
you
sense.
can't, again. So we're just talking about product disparity. I mean, again, I don't want to get into the social
Yeah,
economics aspect of it all because to me that can be a controversial topic, and I'm not really
yeah.
here to create any controversy necessarily. But I'm certainly not absent minded or unaware of the situation. I
Okay,
mean, I studied these disparities, lived these disparities. I mean, I grew
yeah,
up in urban settings. You know, I'm very familiar with certain neighborhoods and the inner workings of it all. I mean,
yeah,
through education and a little bit of money, I guess. I was able to experience some other parts of St. Louis in particular. But you can go from most urban and metro areas, and typically the makeup is the same.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Do I subscribe to your theory? Generally speaking, absolutely.
I'm like,
No
I
way
just
around
wanted
it.
to know. Sometimes I like to argue and be like, no, that's not true. But
I mean, I'm
sometimes I live in an area. I'm like, don't bring me no hot chips from over there. Please
yeah.
bring me
Oh
some,
wow.
bring
Oh
me some hot
wow.
chips from down over there. Or like, my mom lives in a different part, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
food just I don't know if it tastes better. They cook it better. The food is different from where I live, and I'm like, I'm not wasting my money eating out here. I'll go get some good food by your house. So I just wanted to
yeah,
know. Just wanted to know. It's always little theories out there.
yeah.
So you say that you are, which I enjoy, that you are actually bringing up the chemistry, the science. You said those are the things that you want to learn. So it sounds like, are you still in retail right now? Is your product like available in retailers right now?
Currently, it's not.
Okay.
Um, so I had to one, and I mentioned I touched on this a bit earlier, but I had to take a little bit of a step back because I'm not gonna say I was spinning my wheels, but I will say that I was my capacity wasn't to the point where I could produce at the required levels at that time.
Okay.
That's one. Further education, further preparation to exist in
Okay.
those spaces. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, taking all I've had a chance, I've had an opportunity that a lot of people don't have,
Yeah.
and that's the honest truth.
And
And
you
I'm
learned a lot of
very,
lessons though.
oh man,
Like
and
it with that you learn, and whenever you get back out there, like you said, sometimes you just want things to go at a certain pace, but at least when you go back out there, you know the things that you need to know. You know how to prepare yourself versus just burning out. At least you took that step and you were like, I need to take a break, and you were still able to recognize that. But yeah, when you get back, you got all the things you need to know. You have that mindset of wanting to learn, wanting to know, knowing that it's okay that I might not have known this at this time, but I know
mhm,
when it comes back, you're gonna know it. You're gonna be prepared, and you're gonna know everything
yeah,
that you need to know, and prepare yourself to be in the rooms, know everything that is needed to know for retail and for your product.
but I get the feeling that was all part of the plan anyway.
It is. It
I
is.
think
It
that I
is.
think, I mean, the timeline that product was introduced. Our products were introduced in 2020. Okay,
Okay.
20
Oh,
spring 2020. The salsa that is sassy was created,
okay.
right? And I sat on that for a bit, did a couple edibles, and really took myself to a place where I could get some unpacked thinking about what to do with the product.
Okay.
I hope I can say that on the line. Is that
Yeah,
okay
you
with
could
you?
say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm serious. I took kind of a little journey into saying, wow, I became sort of one with the product. I'm really describing this very spiritual experience that I did indeed
Okay.
with introducing my product. Like I became one with it. I wanted to know
Yeah.
the reason that this hit so well, and I kid you not, I studied my products, right? I
Yeah.
studied the texture of them. I studied, how the flavor came to you when you first bit into it. I
Mm-hmm.
studied, and by study, I just mean I took note of it in my mind.
You use your
Studied,
senses. Yeah.
that's right, yeah, like all five of them, literally. Like
Yep.
studied. how it smelled, right?
Yeah.
I went down the list of senses, right? Like using studied the way that it was supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
I received a little bit of backlash from my partner at the time because I
Yeah.
was so adamant that this needs to look this exact same way every single time.
Yeah.
And
That's real though.
but it's real. I mean, when you go, think about it this way: when you go get that bag of chips, right? You go eat a bag of Lay's right now, a bag of Cheetos. You know how a bag of flavor Cheetos is supposed to look. And
Yeah.
unless they told you that this was like the special edition purple flavor Cheeto,
It
you
needs to
gonna
be the
expect
right color.
you gonna expect a brightly colored red flavored delicious hot Cheeto.
Yeah.
So in sight, I looked at that. And I'm like, this needs to look exactly identical every single time somebody opens this up.
Yep.
I guess I couldn't really hear the products, but hey, when the products are prepared,
So,
at a certain level and temperature that is required for some of those products, I want to hear a certain
yeah.
cooking sound when that product
Yep.
is cooking and things like
Yep.
that. Because I know that heat is sort of immersing itself within the product. I mean, these are all the things that I literally did to understand my product, and I think that's the first part of it. I mean, granted, am I a person who understands business and bottom lines and profit margins and revenue? Absolutely. Like, I'm a capitalist. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah.
with you. Like, I'm
So I
not
want
trying
my
to.
money.
Yeah, I'm not trying to. I'm not giving away products. Like, this isn't
No.
a charity. This
No.
is a business.
Okay.
But at the same time, I became so deeply passionate just into the product itself. And from that time, this is again 2020. It's only 2026. People have to understand.
Your business is a newborn still.
People have to like a baby,
Yeah.
okay, a literal baby.
Yep.
Think of some of the biggest, greatest companies that you have seen that are still selling products today. Those companies started in the 1900s.
Yep.
Some of these companies started in the 1800s, and at that
Yeah.
time, they were before their time, right? The
Yep.
Hershey's of the world, the Anheuser Busches of the world, even something as big as small as Annie Ann's cookies or whatever it's called, the not Annie Ann's, the what's in Mrs. Fields,
oh, Mrs.
Mrs.
Fields. I thought you were
Fields,
talking about the other
famous
cookies.
Amos, all these
Yes,
all
yes,
these
famous
cookies,
Amos.
all
Yeah.
these places, were Lay's potato chips, Frito Lay. I mean, these are the tiniest of companies, even some of our competitors, right? Who I consider as a competitor in the fresh salsa space. These competitors have been selling products since 2010,
Yeah.
2009,
And
2008.
so that business is a
And
toddler.
I came with my products right alongside of their products
Yeah.
in just 2 or 3 short years of being in the industry.
Good.
And as you said, there's a learning curve that comes with that. So
Yeah.
I don't feel slighted or anything like that. I don't feel
Yeah.
like I failed at anything.
You
I'm
didn't.
like, I almost had to go into these stores with a pen and paper, right? And
Yeah.
understand the system. And, and understanding the system, yeah, some of that stuff was like, damn, like this is what's going on.
This was going on.
There's some of these factories that you see off the highway, that you see that are food producers. I've been inside of these factories that are, have employees of different demographics
Yeah.
making those products and
Yep.
dealing with those products. I've been inside these retail stores. I've been in the back rooms. I've been in the places that customers get a chance to see within a couple years of being in business. And there's there is a lot that comes with all of that. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean a lot. So no, I don't. I think when no products are available right now, but I'm getting into almost a whole nother conversation in my head about what I want to see in the future of my company.
Okay. So you're pivoting. I like to use this word when it comes to businesses
Yeah, you tell me how much
because
time we got left, because I'm telling you, I've been doing this
uh
topic forever.
so probably about a good another 15, 20 minutes.
Fine
But
with me.
I just
You
hear
you
that your
you cut me off
business
and tell me to shut up when you want me to. All right.
it's no rush. I mean, if they gotta if it gotta be made into two parts, it can be.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just want to talk about because just listening to your story, now you're at a point in business where you have to pivot. And like you said, what people don't realize about being an entrepreneur and businesses, you don't just take what you have from day one and that gets you going for X amount of years, right? Like it's not going to last for 100 years. But if you keep pivoting, you keep learning, you keep just, some people will call it rebranding, those words, but
Yeah,
not to say if something
all the
doesn't work.
change homes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But I like to call it pivoting.
yeah, that's exactly what it
When
is.
yeah, when a business reaches about 5 years, like you said, there's a lot that happens. There's a lot that goes into it. A lot of people love to hype up entrepreneurship, and I'd like to
Oh
tell
man,
people it's not for everybody. Okay, it's not for
definitely getting into it.
everybody.
Definitely getting into another conversation, man.
Some of y'all need to be in corporate. Some of y'all can be entrepreneurs, because what
That
a lot of
part,
entrepreneurs talk about, there's highs and lows, there's ups and downs. Like it's not
definitely.
always sunshine and rainbows. And
No,
so just
not even
with,
close.
yeah, and with you being honest, like you said, it wasn't, you didn't fail. You didn't fail. You have
No,
actually reached the next step in being an entrepreneur. You learned, and now you take those lessons and you're gonna pivot. So I asked you in the beginning. I don't know if you want to share what's
I'm an
next,
open book
what we're
to an
looking
extent.
for. So just let us know, what's your next idea? Is it still going to be salsa? Is it going to be salsa and something else? What does Jordan have going on in his brain that's next for the Taste of Jacks?
Yeah, the salsa isn't going anywhere.
Okay.
I don't think there's a reason to even, you know, see. Hopefully, we'll spend the next 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes just unpacking this and move on. Go to the next topic next time. All right?
Yeah, okay.
So,
He's coming back.
yeah,
We
yeah,
look,
there
I
we go.
accept, look, I will
Yeah,
definitely, I love for people to come back, cuz like you said,
yeah, for sure.
there's a lot to talk about, and like
A
you
ton.
you you know a lot. I love to talk to people that know a lot. So, you
Yeah,
educating people, and we'll talk about that later on, but
yeah,
go ahead and
absolutely.
let us know. Let us know what's
So,
next.
you know, again, the salsa. There's no reason. There's a difference between failing and yeah, I don't mind using the word failure. I don't mind it at all. Like that's just there's a lesson through failures and entrepreneurs. That's the thing. That's the thing when you separate people who are meant for like the corporate world versus somebody who's an entrepreneur. Corporate people, while there's a ton of security there. There's all kinds,
Yeah.
not a ton, but especially I don't want to.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I was
Just a
gonna
little
say I don't want
bit.
to get anybody's hopes up, but there's just a little bit more security, and
Yeah.
getting that check every other week or
Yeah.
having those benefits.
Yeah.
There's obviously benefits to being in the corporate world, but the chance of failure is minimized greatly because there is already sort of a guideline for you to follow.
Correct.
If you go in and you kind of do what you're told,
Yep.
maybe put a little spin on it, put a little sauce to
Mm-hmm.
it,
Yeah.
differentiate yourself just a bit, and you're gonna be successful. Like
Correct.
it's guaranteed. It's not guaranteed, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. You
mean,
you in the
yeah,
corporate game. You
there's
playing the
a
game
high
now.
there's a higher success rate. It just is what it is.
Correct.
You know, in the non-corporate world, in the entrepreneurial space, there's an incredible amount of flexibility.
Yeah.
Depending on what industry you're going in. In my particular industry, there's a lot of creativity that's involved, but there's also a lot of red tape. There's a lot of regulations. There's a lot of regulatory things that you have to overcome and educate yourself on. See if my product, I can see, summarize that up. I can see if my product was a failure due to failure. I hate to even say that and associate that with my product, but I'm just
Oh,
speaking very candidly. I
okay.
can see if my product became or was a failure because of people not enjoying it. So
Correct.
that's if you got a bad product and nobody's buying it, that's a very very different scenario
Yeah.
than learning how to navigate an industry. Right? And this is an industrial complex. This is an institution that's already pre-established with rules that
Yep.
existed before I was even on. So with
Correct.
that being said, I ultimately claim decades and generations, not even decades, but generations of practices and I'll say decades of regulatory practices that I didn't learn until 2023, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
just said when I was a kid, I didn't, there were no rules to food. It's just whatever your parents made. I
Yep.
thought chickens came from the kitchen.
Yep.
I thought eggs came from snoops. Like, that's what I thought.
That's it.
Like, there was nothing else for me.
Yeah.
So in knowing that, you know, the pivot from the retail space, and not from the retail space, because I do want my products to be available in the retail space. But
Okay.
what I've also learned is that one, this gets into an ownership conversation. Right?
Yeah.
Being in the retail space as an individual product is really like renting a house. For
Hmm.
me, I want to I can, own the house and sell the house.
Okay. Yeah. You want the
So
shelf, the whole shelf. Give
I
me
want the shelf. I don't want to
not just a
just be a
spot.
spot on the shelf. Like
Yeah.
I want
Okay.
the shelf.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people tell me that, wow, that's like a 10-year vision, that's lofty. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
sure, I guess. But, I'm, I'm thinking about brick and mortar. Like I've been inspired to do brick and mortar
Yeah.
and a concept that is derived directly from the salsa, right?
Okay.
So just keep that in the back of your mind. I won't
I
talk much about
will.
it because it's still
Okay.
something where you got disclosures. I do feel
Okay.
it's just something on disclosure. So nonetheless,
I don't
keep that in
say
mind.
anything. Look, I don't
That's
say
right.
anything, but if I have to, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
you're
fine.
good. But I'm thinking brick and mortar. I'm thinking more product
Okay.
lines. I'm thinking
Okay.
complete food manufacturing company from start to finish. Like ideally, because I do understand that there's not many people out there, one who look like me who understand the space, and that's just the reality of it.
Correct.
So it, an education piece will become important for me after a while to get my community involved in
Yeah.
understanding like this is the way the food space works. So,
Yeah.
it truly will be an operation or an operation that's built on, sort of this farm to table concept.
Okay.
Like I want to understand the farms. I want to understand the farming, the chemical aspect of the farming. I want to understand the logistics, the distribution, the transportation, the retail side of things. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so much in building that food manufacturing space that is important when you're creating something like this. And all this truly came from just salsa. Like the salsa just brought on the opportunity, which I would have never pursued. I've had it in the back of my head, but outside of that salsa becoming a thing and me having the opportunity to go into farmers markets and stores across St.
It,
Louis and see factories and manufacturers and how that stuff worked and
it opened up
now
more.
here
It opened your eyes a lot to a
like
lot
this is
more.
like just this
Yeah.
explosion of thoughts and ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started seeing Pepsi trucks back then and Coca-Cola trucks and Frito-Lay trucks,
We didn't think of it.
I'm
We didn't
like,
think nothing of it.
yo, like
Yeah.
that's the sky's not the limit. You feel what I mean?
Nope.
Like that's not I don't have to be capped and just saying like, yo, that's that guy who has that great salsa. And then when I
Yeah.
try to convince people like, no, I'm not, I don't want to be like just a salsa boss. Like, yeah, it's cool,
Yeah.
it's catchy, it can work for a little bit, but there's so much more that I think that we have to offer. I mean, I want to have other product lines too. If when I'm
Yeah.
just talking about food, like I want to get into frozen foods and all that kind of
Okay.
stuff. I mean,
Okay.
it's some major ideas that have come into my brain. Now I can poach you after a while since you're in the food
Hey,
space now. So
yes, I am. We and a lot of the things that you said, that's how I just know if you just stick to it, it'll happen. I mean, I work for a company that started in what 2005. Here we are, it's
mm,
2026. We're still a baby company
yeah, it's
compared
still
to like you
small.
said, still small and
Isn't
there's
that
a lot to
crazy?
learn. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really crazy. But one thing I give them grace on is there's always a try. When something doesn't work, they scratch it and try something else, and you just have
yeah.
to keep, like, you get knocked down, you get back up, you try again. That's what Aaliyah said.
That's life.
And even just listening
That's
to
life, man.
everything that you want, I know it's going to happen, like, because
Yeah,
you don't
rightly
just
so.
want, yeah, you don't just want benefits from the product. You really truly want to understand the ins, the outs, what
I
this
would like
person is
to.
doing, what that person is doing. And guess what? Later on, somebody will ask somebody else, "What do you do?" "Oh, I work for Taste of Jacks." It's
It is
it's
something.
it's gonna be that. Yeah,
It's gonna
it's
be
gonna
something.
be that. It is.
The last thing I would say is, this isn't to me. This isn't a morbid thought by any means. It's not a negative thought. It's not a bad thought. It's just a realistic thought. I personally don't believe that I will live to see all the inner workings of I don't think so. I mean, like I said, it took, I'm almost 40 years old, which is
Okay.
crazy to even think about.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I know that within at least my 5 to 10 year plan, I'll see, I'll see, the foundational pieces of what I'm trying to put together, or what I'm putting together. I see that.
So you will be the start of generational wealth. You might not
That's the
force your
goal.
children to go into it, but at least just show them the fun, and maybe hopefully they take interest, or somebody will. And yeah,
Agreed. Yeah.
it will continue to go, especially like you said, this is not something that failed. It's not that people don't like it. It's not good. I'm sure people still like, when are you coming back? What's going
Yes.
on? You
People
probably,
ask me that all the time. But
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still, I'm doing a Taco Tuesday in the
Okay.
springtime. I'm going to be starting back
Okay.
in the farmers markets again because
Okay.
I almost want to get back to those roots and
Yeah. I like the
take what I
farmers
learned.
markets.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, take what I learned from that, that past, that ascent, and then go back to the roots, and
Yep.
then just
And
almost
do
start it again. Like,
yep.
boom, okay,
And
cool,
do
I've
it
done
10
this
times
now. I'm
bigger.
good.
I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm
You
going to be
should.
home. I'm gonna be home in May. That's the summer,
Ooh,
not
okay.
spring. So if you have anything going on, like you said, we could definitely either have another conversation before then, or I can come with you and like be in your space, and we can make that an episode and focus on that. See
That
what
would be
Jordan
tough.
got going on. Yeah,
That would be
that's something
good.
I've been really wanting to do. Get in people's spaces, and y'all come on here. I talk to y'all, but then when y'all come back, I want to be in y'all space and see what you're doing. So I'm gonna
That would
hold you
be cool
to
though,
it.
for real.
If
Yeah,
if that keeps you, yeah,
we should do like a, it's like that kind of what do you call it? Like live on the scene segment
yeah,
situation,
yeah,
and then
yep,
have some camera action with that, and then
yep,
kind of get also a space like a more intimate space where then you sit down
yeah,
on the couches or maybe sit
yeah,
outside, or
wherever.
sit by the river or something like that, and just finish the
Well,
conversation and things
and we
like that.
can, and all of that can happen. So now your job is to make sure that you stick to springtime. You got to the summer for real, and I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there at the beginning of May, the
Get
beginning of May.
I
And I
like
mean,
it.
how? And even if you don't, I still would definitely like to have another conversation with you in
Yeah,
person, like you said,
yeah,
and we'll just check in on your journey, see what you have going on.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not that much pressure, but it's pressure. I'm gonna check in.
Okay.
So I want
You saying
you,
get to work. You get to work.
yeah, get to work because I got to get to work too. So
Yeah,
kind of
for
if y'all
real.
if you get to work, then it keep me on my toes because now I just said it out loud, and then all the
Right.
listeners gonna be like, "Where's the episode?" It's May, so we put it
Yeah.
out there. We got to make it happen. But Jordan, I want you to tell everybody where to find you at. He has Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Go show some love
Cool.
on TikTok, y'all, because that's where that's what
Yeah.
did DeRay say? That's the lottery ticket. So
Yeah.
we'll get it there. Tell
You're
them
gonna
your
have to
name.
give me some feedback on that. But on each and all these platforms, it's Taste of Jack. Taste of Jack. So that's what you're gonna
Okay.
do. You type in Taste of Jack. That's what's gonna come up. Um, on TikTok, however, since I just recently established that, apparently the account is under TOJ. Now,
Oh, what? Okay. Okay.
That's it. So I guess it's just an
You
acronym.
said TOJ.
TOJ. That's what's on
Okay.
TikTok. Here, let me
I'll,
actually
I'll
be more. Let me
I'll
give
put it
you
in the
a more
description.
descriptive.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it
like, I'll
says
leave it all in the description.
TOJ 7582.
Oh,
I'm gonna
seven
change that
five
after a while.
eight two. Yeah, you're gonna have to change that, but I will put that in the description.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Everybody knows how it is when you first make your TikTok. They give
Yeah,
you what's
on
available. And maybe you'll have to probably when you change it, you'll probably have to put a bunch of underscores and stuff like that. But
you
Instagram,
know more
Taste of
about it than I
Jacks,
do. I tell you that much. Yeah.
it's just a little
Instagram, Taste
internet.
of Jacks. Facebook, Taste of Jacks.
And then TikTok
TOJ.
TOJ 7582.
That's
Whatever
right.
those numbers are.
Whatever those
Okay.
numbers.
Whatever they are. But I do have
Yeah,
another
yeah.
question.
Okay,
If
go. Make
people
it
are
brief.
interested, you said in the beginning, like you do it all. Are you open to people in St. Louis, like collabing with, not collabing with you, but
Oh yeah.
working with you? Are you accepting that right now? Do people just need to reach out to you if they're interested in working with you? How do you go about that? Because you never know who might hear this. We might connect you with the right people. I tell you, I'm like a bridge. Never know who you know. So
Yeah.
how does anybody who's interested in working with you, how can they contact you? What's your what's their way of getting in contact with you?
Yeah, I'm always interested in a collab. So I mean, you can send me an email at info at thetasteofjacks.com. So info at THETASTEOFJACKS.com. Info at the taste
Okay.
of Jack. For any kind of inquiries or questions or follow ups or criticisms, or maybe somebody wants to tell me that my hair was out of place or something. That's fine too. Whatever you got to say.
No, if
Yeah,
anybody say anything crazy to you, you let me know.
yeah,
We
yeah.
don't
But
do
yeah,
that over here.
yeah.
But
That's how you
okay.
can reach me. And I'm open to collaborations. I mean, I always have been. I've always made that a
Okay.
part of my business model to
Yeah.
get involved with interested parties around the community. Since I saw a product, especially one just meant for chips and stuff. So I love to collaborate with chefs or other restaurateurs, things like that. So, yeah.
I want y'all to know, if y'all work with Jordan, y'all will have fun. Y'all will
Oh
learn
yeah,
a lot. Like he said in the
yeah,
beginning, I learned a lot from him. We did
yeah.
markets, we did events. It was
Oh
really
yeah.
fun. So
It was a
he'll let
fun
me,
time. I'm
if,
serious
yeah,
though. When I get serious, I'm serious. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I'm
That's the,
serious.
that's the hard
Hey,
part of business. I'm saying that's
he
the
is,
hard part of business.
oh
Sometimes
yeah,
I'm a little serious. I mean,
he is serious, but hey, he not always here to be your friend. At the end of the
no,
day, like he said, just about
I'm sorry.
this is his baby. He's going to
It is.
take it serious. So when it's time to get down to business, he gets down to business. But it's things that you learn, it's things that you respect about people when it comes to their business. Who wants to work with somebody that's always joking? You don't take anything serious. You no, no. We're
Yeah,
about
yeah,
business. We take things
indeed.
serious. So
Hmm.
again, I hope that people will go and follow you, show you some love, try your products whenever they get back out. Y'all heard him. Springtime. He's going to be at a farmer's market. So follow his Instagram, follow him on TikTok, go add him on Facebook so you guys could just keep up with the markets that he is going to be at. Again, if you want to get your product, you better get there early. If you got to drive, just know it's worth it. And I look forward to seeing you when I come home in May. I'm writing you in the beginning of May. All right,
Hold you to it.
Jordan. Is
Okay.
there is there anything else you want to say? Anything? Got anything?
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
I appreciate your time and I appreciate you coming on here. And y'all know where to find me. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at it's underscore J Marie, two E's, I think. I really think it's three E's. I already told him I do horrible at this. Let me
Oh,
see.
look, you talking about me
Oh,
now.
oh no, I did
Get
it
my
right. I
social
did it
media.
right. I did it
Look,
right. It's underscore J Marie, two E's. And then like he said, if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, if you don't read the description box and you might email me and ask me how to get in contact with Jordan, you could email me at it's jmarie, two E's, 9 at gmail.com. Y'all know, make sure you share this with your friends, family, leave a review, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.
peace.